Hello, Paul here at BikeFit, talking today about marking cleats. And one of the things that we do at BikeFit is we color code our cleat markings so we can track them. And we start with black, silver, and then gold. I'd also like to share with you how we actually mark our cleats. When we start, we want to mark that position in case you ever lose track of thoughts, position, or perhaps you want to go back to where you started. So when we start, we mark, we use the black. And we put several marks on our cleat and shoe. So we have several reference points. That's our first set of marks. So when we make our first adjustment, we will then slide or move the cleat relative of these marks. And in this case, we need to move the cleat further back, which would push the foot further forward. So I'll bring it straight down. Now, the reason we like to use lots of marks is so you have several reference points. So when you need to do an adjustment, you have several points to check and make sure that you did an accurate adjustment. Certainly if you do rotation, you have that as well. Let's just say maybe one of your marks isn't all that great. You still have then plenty of other marks to work with. On this shoe, we also need to move the foot outward. So we're going to move the cleat in. Before we do that, we're going to go to our silver pen and we're going to mark again. Some of your adjustments will indeed go right on top, or some of your markings will go right on top of your old ones. So we're going to the silver now. And again, I make these lines pretty long. There are reasons for that as well. At some point you may need to add a leg link shim, and if you do, that can cover up some of your marks. You've probably seen or heard people that will often trace the cleat, and I'm not opposed to that. We just also like to put the marks on the shoe because the tracings can be easily covered up, especially when you get to the point of when you're adding the cleat wedges. So we're on our silver adjustment, and now we would like to move the cleat over. So I'm going to push this over, and notice how it rotated a little bit. So I have plenty of reference points that I will check and make sure that my adjustment was just parallel over and didn't rotate, because rotation is coming next. So what are we going to do for rotation? We're going to now go to our silver marker, and I will put my new sets of lines on.
I think that's a gold marker.
Oh, you're right. So anyway, put the gold marker on there. And you can also, by the way, some cleats, this one doesn't, will have certain markings on the cleat itself. You can use that as a reference point. And what we'll do here now is rotate the cleat. In this case, we want to bring the heel in a little bit. So I'm going to rotate the cleat like this. And remember my little demonstration here of having several reference points? Well, now you have that all the way around the cleat. So for our cleat marking pens, one of the cool places that you can store them is in your screw kit. Right in the front here, next to your cleat screw pick, which you would want to use in the beginning to make sure your cleats are nice and clean. For more information on adjusting cleats, you can check out our online education at BikeFit.com. To get our 3 colored marking pens, you can also find that on our website. Thanks for listening.